Hey everyone, this is Straw Hat Puffy here, and just kind of celebrating the new year with a little bit of a recap of some of the anime and manga I've seen. Starting with anime, I'm going to talk about my top 20 anime that I've watched in out of 2020. I may have had a bit too much free time, and I've used that to kind of watch a bunch of anime manga that have been recommended to me, ones I found interesting, ones I was curious about. And yeah, I'm just kind of recapping which ones I found the most interesting and really good. And for this one, I'm just going to talk about anime, and I'm not going to include ones that I've watched before. So, as in, like, I'm not going to include continuing seasons or movies of anime I've seen before 2020. So, this includes, like, Kaguya-sama Season 2 or Osomatsu-san Season 3. Um, and this also will apply to anime adaptations of manga I've read because I don't want to kind of overlap and talk about two series because although they are different forms of media and how they present the story is different, one through pictures and panels and the other through animation, um, I chose not to talk about them. So I will not be talking about Dorohedoro or Demon Slayer, as those will be recapped in my top 20 2020 manga video that will come out later. And this is entirely unscripted, so I have no idea how long this video is going to be. I will try to keep it brief of each anime. There is 20, so there's quite a lot. I may end up talking about one individually, maybe in the future if I kind of like talking about anime or manga that I really like. Kind of expanding my video content, but for now, let's just get right into the video. So number 20, Persona 4 the animation. I actually just got into Persona this year, thanks to my friend Shambling Mound that has recommended me a whole bunch of games throughout the years, including Yakuza and Persona. And I first played, my first Persona game was Persona 4 Golden as it was ported to Steam, as I imagine with most people. I really loved the game. But this isn't really talking about the anime, so I'll just go back to that. The anime I'd say was pretty good. This also includes the Golden adaptation, which I don't believe had the dub, which was a shame because I do like the dub voices, at least in Persona. Um, as standalone anime, it it's alright. I mean, you're definitely robbing yourself of the experience if you watch the anime adaptation of Persona games rather than actually just playing the games, obviously. So if you are gonna watch the anime, I highly recommend it doing it after playing the games. But I do like the little tidbits they added, kind of adapting. It's nice to see the characters brought to life and seeing Yu Narukami get a bunch more lines. I also did like the little detective scene with Nanako and checking on her big bro and seeing him hang out with a bunch of different girls. That was pretty funny. But yeah, pretty solid. I'm keeping it at number 20 at the border just because I would not recommend people watching it before, until they play the game. But other than that, if everyone had watched or if everyone had played the game, this anime would probably be a little higher. Number 19, Myriad Colors Phantom World. This one is kind of hurts me a little bit because it is one of Kyo Annie's anime, and as you all know, I am a big fan of Kyoto Animation. I do love all of their shows, even their less greater ones. But this one wasn't really too good. Of course, animation, sound design, always nice. But the thing that really drove me away was just the lack of a proper story or world building. Felt like there's so much lost potential they could do. Like this is like really, I think the concept of, let's see, like spirit hunters or whatever is was slightly similar to a few other anime that are listed way higher up on this list, but I think Myriad Colors just kind of fails because it didn't really feel like they were reaching an end goal, and even the final boss wasn't really, or the last bad guy they defeated wasn't really that impactful in my opinion. And also just characters are kind of flat and boring. They didn't really get too much depth. Um, I will give credits though to Mai Kawakami. She does look pretty good. This definitely is one of the shows with one of Kyoto Animation shows that definitely has a lot more fan service than they are known for. And I guess it is kind of interesting, but let's stay number 19. Number 18, Tamako Market. This is another Kyoto Animation show, and it is kind of sweet. I do I do kind of like how it's made by the same people run by the same director who did K-On! And you can really see that in the art style. Though a lot of the characters kind of suffer from like same face syndrome or something, just because they're all really short and almost chibi like. I did like the movie though. It really did give more depth to Tamako and Mochizuki. Oh God, I don't even remember if that's his name. The other guy. I really did like the romance in that movie, but the show itself was alright. It was kind of slow, and I actually dropped it or paused it after 4 episodes, and then like a few months later, I went back just to finish it. Um, it was alright. It was a little cute, but not something I'd probably watch again. Number 17, Full Metal Panic Fumoffu. Oh man, another Kyo anime title. It really hurts me to see them kind of low, but these ones definitely weren't the greatest for the studio. This was this was the first anime that Kyo Annie worked on, as in for like a weekly release. The and I really think they did a good job for their first anime. So don't get me wrong, even though this is pretty low on the list, it is number 17 out of 20. I still think that's pretty good, just for the ones I've seen this year. And the beginning kind of blew me away. Um, it was really unique with the humor and romance involving Sosuke Sagara, who really takes things too seriously, and I've something I've never seen before with someone always acting like they're on duty as a soldier. Um, it's like something I have only seen not too much before in other animes, but even then, this was a pretty good twist on it. The first episodes I'd say were some of the best, with really good jokes, writing, animation, especially on this one car scene. I thought that was really nice. It was a lot shorter than I expected when I rewatched it. I thought it went really longer, but in those short minute or two, I really liked all the transitions and the shots and all that. Um, but then it kind of faltered in the middle. I I'll say it wasn't like too exciting, but it did kind of delve into Chidori Kaname and Sosuke's relationship, which is kind of nice. And the last episodes, I think, were a little too crazy. Like they just kind of went all out with their jokes, humor, suspense. But I think that was fine. But yeah, the middle wasn't the strongest point. But I think KyoAni really did a good job on this anime, and I quite liked it. Also, I watched it in dub, so I will give credits to that. The dub was really good. It actually had all of the main character voices from Ghost Stories, which was kind of funny to hear and recognize. Though this came out before Ghost Stories, so they didn't pull all their punches yet. Number 16, Great Pretender. Um, this one was pretty neat. I think this is one of the first original net animation I've seen. You know, of course, due to quarantine, they weren't all these new shows aren't able to always be broadcast on TV, and are instead released on stuff like Netflix, as with Great Pretender. Um, this one I thought was pretty neat. It was a cool like spy, well not spy, but like kind of like a heist trickery thing. I did like the first few episodes. Kind of made me jump bit, well not jump, but like be questioning like, oh, who's on whose side, who's actually hired um, by their gang, or who's actually a bad guy. I thought that was pretty cool. I can imagine that the dubbing will be hard just because a lot of characters speak different languages, and at that point it'll be kind of weird. Like in the first episode, they start speaking English a little bit, and it's like broken up because it's a Japanese and a French guy speaking English, and then conveniently for the viewer's sake, they switch to Japanese. But even though the whole time they're like speaking English or something, so that will be something tricky to double have to do. They'll kind of have to change it a bit, I bet, just to say like, oh, they're speaking English the whole time or something. Um, but yeah, I'd say it was pretty cool. Again, I think the middle portion wasn't the most interesting, and yeah, I mean it was all right. Um, I did like the art though. I'm not sure how to describe it. It was really similar to watercolor, as in the color itself. I guess not the way the art's animated, which probably doesn't make sense, but it was really bright and not necessarily flashy, but had like really cool calming effects, especially the backgrounds. But yeah, I kind of liked it. Number 15, Parasyte. This one was recommended to me by a friend, and I didn't actually know quite what to expect. It did look pretty dark at first, like when I saw a trailer of it. Just people dying and different monsters like attacking people, and yeah, I mean that's what I saw and that's what I got. Lots of people dying, and yeah. Um, I think it was really cool seeing, oh God, what's his name? Shuichi Izumi, Izumi's growth throughout the story. Um, kind of figuring out what's right or what he needs to do and what he wants to do, as well as just accepting the fact that it's him against not necessarily the world, but against all these monsters, and also just defining what is a monster. And it's kind of interesting with his relationship with Migi. I actually found it really interesting that Miki was voiced by Aya Hirano, same voice as Haruhi Suzumiya. I totally did not recognize. I have no idea if like they altered her voice or she can really do that, like weird, disturbing Migi voice. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. But yeah, thought thought the anime is pretty nice overall. Definitely should give it a watch. All right, number 14. I may get some flack for it, but I'm gonna put Violet Evergarden. Um, Violet Evergarden is, I'd say, one of KyoAni's best anime in terms of animation. Now, don't let that distract you away from the other parts of it, but I think one of the animation was definitely the highlight of it. A lot of the shots were really beautiful. I really liked the character design and how they were like drawn, especially the hair. I don't, they're like really detailed. Um, there's one scene with Violet with the umbrella trying to jump over a lake, and oh man, that shot is beautiful. It's like perfect wallpaper material. Um, I had a lot of fun looking for Violet Evergarden shots for my KyoAni documentary, which you should definitely watch. But other than animation side, um, story was all right. I heard it was a little slow, and I can kind of agree with that. I did kind of get drawn out in some of the episodes, but I will say that some of the episodes really hit home. Like they made me cry. Like I don't know if that necessarily justifies it being a good episode, but man, there were some really sad parts to it. Um, and I wonder if they kept things really sad, would it have changed my mind? I did watch a little bit of the specials after it, but I have not watched the movie actually. So if I watched it, I wonder if that'll change my mind completely about the show. Maybe bring it up or bring it down. So yeah, I'll have to see. Number 13, Saekano, or what is it in English? How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend. This was also recommended by a different friend, but I think this one was a little sweet. It's kind of like a harem, but it's about these people trying to make a like visual novel. Um, I wasn't like too connected with it because I don't really play visual novels at all, unless you count like Danganronpa, I guess, or Doki Doki. But those aren't really your average conventional visual novels you look at. Um, I didn't really like the main protagonist. I guess that's kind of the point with these shows, where there's all these really cool girls, and then there's that one guy. I felt like he didn't really make the best decisions. I feel, at least with his relationships, and he definitely doesn't look the most interesting. Very bland and boring, black-haired average skinned male in anime. Um, but yeah, I think the premise was overall pretty cool. I did watch all two seasons and then the movie, and I think it had a really good, kind of satisfying ending. I'm I am kind of, if you can tell, I'm kind of biased or towards some of these items on my list. Some of them I quite remember more than others, or I'm more opinionated in a one. But yeah, let's just move on. Number 12, Baccano. This one is a little bit similar to Great Pretender, as in like the concept of like a heist in a way, but albeit that's just one of many storylines for this anime. It is also another one with really good dubbed. I love all the voices, and it really makes sense to watch dub in this case because the anime takes place in America, so it does make sense for them to speak English, and also just because the dub is phenomenal. Um, Again, with this, a lot of stories, I really like seeing each character's perspective in each matter, and the story in the anime like jumps back and forth between times, and you have to kind of piece everything together to see like how the whole story connects. Um, I also didn't know it would have like magic too. I thought it would just be just like a mafia, um, like train heists and stuff like that. But no, in the first episode they showed that there are people who are immortal, and that like piqued my interest further because like, oh, okay, it's like there's some magic aspect to it. It's not just fully realistic in a way. And yeah, I did quite like it. I think everyone can kind of pick a character, and uh, or every character can be someone's favorite. I think a lot of them really phenomenal. Number 10, Id Invaded. This one I just happened to stumble upon. I don't really recall how. I think I just looked up or I just saw a random anime in my suggestions tab or something, and I quite liked it. It was like a mystery, um, and it was kind of similar to The Matrix, coming from someone who hasn't actually watched Matrix. So I don't even know if that statement holds up, but it was interesting. I did find the overall like mystery intriguing, just trying to figure out who the main bad guy is. I'm blanking on names. But yeah, I found it cool how like they go into these id wells in people's brains to see like their psychology and then how that world is shaped because of that. Kind of reminded me a bit of Persona 4 Dungeons, although I watched this before Persona 4, um, before playing Persona 4. But anyways, yeah, pretty neat. I will say that the art isn't the best, at least the characters. They looked kind of a little off-putting. I guess it wasn't like your typical anime look. So it was, I think it was my main problem was the eyes kind of looked lizard-like. But I mean, it didn't draw me away. It's just a little something I noticed. Number 10, Erased, or Boku ga Inai Machi, something like that. I put this one right next to It Invaded just because it's also a mystery, albeit this one involves time travel and just or in changing the future, which I thought was pretty neat. I did like this one way more than It Invaded. I think the concept was a lot more simpler, but I will say though that the mystery wasn't really much of a mystery. I think it was kind of obvious who the villain was, just with the lack of potential suspects of who the killer was of Hana, which I think is her name. I don't remember. It was pretty good. It's kind of cute. Um, yeah, overall pretty neat. I guess I would recommend. I mean, I'd recommend all of these. Number 9, Asobi Asobase. Just thinking about this one just makes me crack up because this one was super funny. I really would want to put it up higher, but the other one just kind of beat it. This one, like I see people compare this to Nichijou, but it's nothing like Nichijou at all. Like it is random humor, but it is like super random, as in like vulgar random humor. Like everything like blew me away. Like I wasn't expecting any of the jokes at all, and the way they draw the characters' faces when they get mad or something is just super funny, like eternal grotesque, and it's just something you wouldn't expect. Um, I always love these really funny, out of the out there humor anime, and then their intro is just super basic, and it makes you unsuspect that this anime is just. It makes you think this anime is gonna be normal, but it's totally not. It's like the total opposite. But it got me laughing out loud so many times. I think each episode was a really good hit. Um, Also, the voice acting was amazing. I believe they used lesser known voice actors, but they did a really good job. Oh man, I forgot the main girl, the black, like, I forgot the main girl's name, but her voice actor was really great. The part where she like accidentally swallowed the gumball and started choking, and she started screaming, and I don't like it just sounded like it may sound like erratic screaming, and it's like not something to make you laugh necessarily, but it was something unique I've never heard before, and it just got me laughing. Yeah, I definitely recommend this if you're looking for humor. Maybe it won't vibe with you well just because it can look really weird at times or disturbing. Number 8, Azumanga Daioh. This one I found really cute. I don't know if you can necessarily call it moe. I think it has some trips of moe, but I think it's just kind of its own thing. Um, where anime, where the anime, or each character kind of has their own quirks, and the way they interact is all really funny. My favorite girl is definitely Osaka. The way she talks in Japanese is really, really funny. It's like she's really soft spoken, but she says some of the weirdest stuff. Like sometimes she can get really deep sometimes, but also she just says like really dumb stuff that just makes you wonder if she's okay in the head. Um, a lot of the jokes in here were really funny. Definitely a lot more light than Asobi Asobase, but this one was really cute in its own way. They did give a lot of attention to characters I didn't really think they would, such as the teachers or Caldine. I still think it was nice. Yeah, I would recommend like if you want humor and you don't necessarily want to watch Asobi Asobase and you want a little bit of cuteness, definitely watch Azumanga Daioh. Number 7, Kyoukai no Kanata, or Beyond the Boundary. This one was recommended by my brother. He really hyped it up for me. He's telling me it was his favorite anime. Uh, Mirai Kuriyama, I think that's her name, was his favorite girl. And, I knew it was something from Kyoto Animation. And and if he's making it sound really good, I just had to watch it. And I did. Um, I, I'll say I liked it. Yeah, I mean, if it's number 7, of course it's really good. Of course, being Kyoto Animation, the anime's good, the animation's good, sound design really good. I like the songs and music and the characters. I really liked how in depth. Well, I guess they didn't go too in depth. I'd say as much as I'd like it. I think say one of the faults of this show is that it ended too early. I think it was just one season of a movie. Although the movie did wrap it up, um, all the plot holes and stuff, explain all the things. I really wish they could have had more and just go into the characters. This anime actually did make me appreciate the main character, the male one, a lot more. Um, Kind of like Keone took more in charge and kind of did away with the boring male protagonist stereotypes. Akihiko, I think that was his name. Um, and also some of the side characters too were enjoyable, such as Hiromi and Mitsuki. Oh gosh, the little sister of Hiromi. I'd say it was really. It did have its moments. There were lots of beautiful ones, lots of really good action scenes. Did like Kuriyama. She was really cute whenever she's just like all like Fuyukaitis or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the better Kyoto animation shows on this list. This definitely was a good year. Well, not a good year. This definitely was a year where I watched a bunch of Kyoto anime shows, and definitely do recommend. Like, of course, I'm gonna keep talking about Kyoto animation here and there, and it may get annoying, but I can't stress it enough that the shows they make are just amazing. Number 6, Scissor Seven. This isn't like I don't want to get into an argument of what counts as anime or not, but this was a Chinese production, made in China, it's voiced in Chinese, English subs, of course. But I didn't hear too much. I think I saw like one clip on Reddit, and it piqued my interest. I did like the art style. It's not necessarily simplistic in a way, but or it can be simplistic, but then also just breaks into really really detailed um animation during fight scenes. The premise kind of reminded me of One Punch Man of well, not it's really hard to compare actually, but now I think about it, Seven, really funny dude. Like he gets into all these fights which you may think he'll never win, but he somehow is really lucky um, with everything and how he gets away in these fights, whether he wins or runs away. And I mean, part of that is due to well, I can't explain it because it's spoilers, but um, it's really cool to see his progression as he regains his memories and stuff. Um, I really like how a lot of the characters return, even some of the side ones, in fights. It like connects the world a bit more because they're all on a small island. So what are the chances that these characters are gonna see each other again? And I think Scissor Seven does a really good job on that. Um, I'm really excited for season three. I believe I think it's coming out this year, 2021. So I will look forward to that. Number five, Assassination Classroom. This was a really good anime I've watched. I'd say, if you can't tell, like I really love anime that are humorous, and Assassination Classroom does a good job of blending humor with action and a little bit of drama. I was a little worried at first because they had so many characters in the class that was worrying how they were gonna get to them all. And although not, there's definitely a few that definitely didn't get too much spotlight. I think the ones that did were done really well, and even some of the side ones, they had their little moments or they were part of some joke. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like the problem with My Hero Academia, but that's on its own, and I won't continue more on that. Yeah, a lot of the characters you can really tell they're touched individually in their own special way by Koro Sensei, and I think it was really neat to see them go from like supposedly troublemaker kids to like full on fledged assassins. It was nice to see them grow up in that sense. Um, I watched this one in dub and it was really good, really funny. I think a lot of the English voice actors did a really good job. Um, I will say the ending did make me tear up a bit. It was kind of sad because you kind of grow up with these kids as they progress throughout their year, and then oh, I guess it's a little bit of spoilers, but I will say I did cry at the ending when they had to graduate, and for for those who have watched, you all know what I mean. Number four, Clannad. Yes, this is second highest Kyoto animation show that I've seen in 2020. And you may be thinking about what one above that is, but Clannad kind of holds a special place because it in my heart because it's like a harem anime, but it's not necessarily a full-on one because he already picks who his girl is off the gate, Nagisa, and it was pretty cool to see these characters grow. Like they grew up way older than I expected. Like they went into their adulthood, and then even then they even went into like parenthood, and really wasn't expecting to see this the progression of these characters and even some of the side characters and side girls. Um, I do appreciate some of the little short one shot episodes in an alternate universe where Tomoya gets with some of the other girls who I think are way better than Nagisa. Nothing against Nagisa, but some of the other girls were way better. Um, Again, this anime pretty funny and had some really cute moments. I think Fuko being one of the biggest. I really wish she appeared more often, but of course that's hard to say because she was like in a coma and was kind of like the spirit roaming the school. But she was a really cute addition. I really liked the way she talked and like all the pranks Tomoya Okazaki pulled on her. Yeah, I think one problem I had was, I guess maybe I'm too dumb to like understand, but and sometimes in the beginning of episodes they had some weird storytelling of like this little girl in like an empty world with a robot. I found it kind of boring, and I felt like, and then I could see some of the tie-ins with the characters in the story, but honestly, I felt that it could do better without it. You know, they could use that extra minute or so, in my opinion, to flesh out the characters in the show. Not that it's too much time to work with, but I didn't. I felt like I could have skipped it and would have lost nothing. Number three, Sound Euphonium. Yes, this is the I'd say the top Kyoto animation show I've seen in 2020, and man, I wish I had watched it way earlier. This one is really good. I being someone who has been in band since from the start of from elementary school to high school, and sadly I'm not continuing band in college, but I am still practicing piano. But anyways, it was nice to see a band, a school band that was actually serious, that wanted to improve. I sadly could not relate, but it was nice to see all the characters grow, both as musicians and as people. Just Himiko, like observing all these other characters and their problems and their drama. Like at first she was like on the sidelines, but then soon she was becoming a big part in helping others, as well as helping herself. I really like these coming of age stories, especially, and KyoAni definitely has a lot of these. And I think part of it's because like I can relate to it just because I am growing up as a during these times as I'm watching them. Maybe a little bit too late because I am in college, so I'm not necessarily in high school. But I actually, now I think about it, I don't think it's too late to keep growing, coming of age. I don't really consider myself like a full independent adult yet, being only a freshman in high school and college. But anyways, um, Sound Euphonium, of course, it has to have good music, and it did. It really melts in my heart when I hear a good saxophone and trumpet. No offense, but kind of offense to school bands, but yeah, it was nice to hear really good um, band players. Um, I think this anime also had really good animation, something about Evergarden. I really like the way they drew the eyes. They're really shiny, and I even think all the characters looked kind of proportional, a little bit more proportional. Kumiko looks kind of tall, but she's only like 5'2" or so, or five. I think she's 5'4". I don't remember, but she is a lot taller than your typical anime girl. But she's also really good. I would put her on the waifu list. And also one of the side stories, or one of the movies, which I guess is kind of like a prequel, Liz and the Bluebird, which is part of Sound Euphonium, I think was really amazing. They used a lot of watercolor, and that was a nice change. I think they were really experimenting, but they did a really good job um, of how they drew the characters with a little story time. Um, it was also fleshed out a lot of the other side characters that don't get as much love. Like Kumiko only had like one or two lines or so, which was fine because it was focusing on the oboe player and the flute player. Um, real, and they really complemented each other. And a lot of the girls, I'd say, in the band, definitely got a lot of love. I really feel bad because people like Shuichi, I think that was his name. Oh gosh, another Shuichi. I wish he had a little bit more time. I believe in the light novels it's treated a little differently. I want to say he gets with Kumiko, but in the anime, the most he got was just him kind of getting rejected by Kumiko in the movie, in one of the movies. But yeah, I think there is another season coming, and I'm really hoping to see some focus on Shuichi. But yeah, we'll have to see. Number two, Yu Yu Hakusho. It's been a long time since I've went back and watched a shonen anime. Um, when I was younger, I've only watched like a lot of shonen anime I've watched were like Pokemon, Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh. I'd sit there and watch like hundreds of episodes. As you know, they come out weekly, no matter how good the content, or no matter how rushed the episodes were. Not. Yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho. It was a really nice refresher. Just kind of it, in a way, it made me feel nostalgic, even though I've never seen it before. Made me feel nostalgic of like when I was younger and I'd binge watch. Well, not binge watch, but I'd watch these shonen anime weekly or so on. And I thought it was really nice. The concept was really, I'd say, unique for its time, and I really liked Yusuke Urameshi. I liked all the characters. It was nice seeing this small male cast, um, and and Genkai just kind of go up against everyone in the Dark Tournament. I think that was one of the best anime arcs in history, in my opinion. Like each character got to shine in their own way. The fights were really good. Um, Yusuke, both as a person and as a fighter, grew so much, and up to the point where he fought Toguro. But that's part of the fall. I feel like, of course, there's so many plot holes to fill up, but I feel like the series peaked with the Dark Tournament arc, and everything after that was just kind of eh. It wasn't too interesting, in my opinion, and it just kind of lost some of the luster it had from the first 50, 60 or so episodes. And I had to like take a little break from watching it, like a few weeks or so. Uh, Also, just the power scaling where Yusuke kind of not necessarily become a god, not even close, but I guess he wasn't like too broken, but it I just kind of wished they stayed the same where he's just a human. Um, I don't want to get into spoilers, but I kind of wished it was like he's kind of like a normal kid, um, learning spirit powers for the first time. But anyways, the intro and outros are all bops. I can listen to that stuff all day. Oh, by the way, this is dubbed because the English voices are all really great. Um, and I think this set a really good precedent for shonen animes that came afterwards. Um, this being one of Togashi's first works, and one that definitely um, was a taught him a lot of lessons when he wrote Hunter x Hunter, or Hunter x Hunter, however you pronounce it. Yeah, it was a really good experience in my opinion. If you're really into shonen, or at least the old ones, the original, definitely watch Yu Yu Hakusho. I I wish more people got into it. It's like I think one of the hidden gems. Like maybe it's just me, but I barely see any people talking about it. When I think it's something that could maybe not compete with Dragon Ball, but definitely up there on good shonens. Of course, we can't finish without showing my number one entry. Great Teacher Onizuka. This anime, um, I wouldn't say changed me. I'm not gonna go into any of that deep stuff that I always hear people say, but no, this anime, or Onizuka at least, he definitely changed people, at least in the show. Um, the premise is really unique. I like a former gang member all of a sudden becoming a teacher, um, and then just fixing people's lives in his own crazy, dumb, not necessarily dumb, but you know what I mean, crazy way. And he really does like he like somehow has a really cool way of just having people open up and realize um their flaws and their strengths or whatever. And I felt like each character had been influenced by Onizuka. Um, just skipping around, the music is really good, especially the intros. I'll listen to that all day, every day. And like I don't want to say it because it's like kind of overused, but Onizuka is a Chad. He just is. Like he just does the coolest things. It'd be like he's like the coolest teacher. He just does what he wants. Doesn't care what anyone else thinks, and he just does it. Um, he also what do you call it? Um, he's also super funny. I found so many moments really laughable, and yeah, I quite liked it. I watched this one in sub, though I do hear the dub is all right. So I guess if you're a dub watcher, you can watch this number one. I put this one at number one just because as a really good balance of humor and also just um, really making you really making you feel connected with the characters. And I'm not necessarily the world because it's just your standard Japanese high school, but it was it is a really good anime. I hear the manga it's just as good. Um, and I do want to read Great Teacher Onizuka Paradise Lost, which is like the continuation manga where he's in a prison or something. But yeah, that is still releasing, so I won't read it yet. But anyways, yes, please watch Great Teacher Onizuka. Please watch, I guess, any entry on this list. Um, but yeah, that is gonna do it for me. Wow, this is quite quite long. Um, I guess doing talking about 20 shows is a bit too much, but and I really wish I could have. Maybe I will talk about some of these individually, maybe with the script this time because this is off the top of my head, and some of them I definitely don't remember as well, especially some of the ones I watched in the beginning of the year. But yeah, I guess I'd like to hear your thoughts on the show. Maybe I like mixed up some of these animes or my experiences with them. So maybe some of them were a lot higher or lower than what I would have initially thought. But yeah, let me know what you think. My list, maybe some recommendations for anime and manga I'll read through 2021. Maybe I'll do a top 21 anime at the end of this year, but we'll see. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, like, subscribe. I will make another video like this on my top 20 manga, which I'm actually more excited to talk about, because I think I'm well more versed in judging manga than anime. But yeah, anyways, that'll be it for me, Straw Hat Puffy. See ya. Bye.